All right, good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It is so good to see your faces. Thanks for getting on tonight. I am really excited to talk to you and to have some sharing tonight. We're talking about connection, attending events, SFR, why to attend SFR. But then we just came off of a retreat that was offered for our group. And we have some campers that went to that retreat, and I have asked for them to share their experiences, their takeaways, and talk a little bit about attending events and things like that. So we are going to have them have the floor tonight to share with you. And then we are going to talk about SFR. I will share fun stat with you, and we'll talk about a little bit about what SFR is. And many of you that are on the call are registered for SFR, which is really exciting. And it just opened yesterday. And so to see that many people are registered is really exciting. And so, yeah, that's what we're going to do tonight. So let me tell you a little bit. Wait, I want to make this note. So every year in March, we host a Midwest camp. It's called Midwest Camp, and it is a retreat on connection, action, motivation, and purpose. It's a Scentsy retreat. It's for all titles, and we just had it this past week. And this was our 4th year holding it. And so we have, it's Camp 1.0 and 2.0. So you attend 1.0 first, and then once you've attended 1.0 the following year, you get an invitation to 2.0. And then once a camper, always a camper. So once you've attended Camp 1.0, you are always invited to Camp 2.0. And gosh, I wish everybody would be able to attend. Like I said, it's crazy because we extended the invitation pretty far and wide for this past camp. And I realized that I didn't probably talk about it enough leading up to camp for people to know exactly what it was and what to expect. And so I want to take the opportunity now to have campers share with you how it was, their experience, their takeaways. I already said all of that, but I want you to hear from them. So I think we will start with our Camp 1.0 attendees and have them share a little bit. And then we will hear from our Camp 2.0 attendees, because you never know. You go into an event, and I know that going into a Scentsy event, for some of you, it was your very first Scentsy event. For some of you, it was maybe your second Scentsy event that you've ever attended. And there's a little bit of anxiety or nervousness going into attending something in person, especially because we've spent the last couple of years not doing things in person. And so, we have a lot of consultants that have joined our group that joined during COVID and aren't accustomed to having anything in person. And so I think it's important that we address the significance of getting together, connecting with other consultants, making new friends, expanding your network within the consultant base, and how that can help you and your business grow. So who from 1.0 wants to kick us off before I just make Amy Abdushan go first? Yeah, Amy, you're up.
Okay, let me turn off my printer because it's really loud. Okay, so last year I was invited to 1.0. It was kind of a last minute thing, and I really wanted to go. And to be completely transparent, it was a combination of excitement. I had a lot going on with my schedule, but also there was a lot of anxiety. Like, I didn't know anybody on the team. Like, obviously we did Zooms and stuff, but there was a sense of anxiety of, I don't know anybody. Like, I'm the type of person that if I don't know people, I won't go. Like, it's just something that I've always struggled with. And so part of my decision to not go was I don't know anybody. I'm from North Carolina, and I'm supposed to travel all the way to Indiana by myself and then meet up with a bunch of people that I don't know. Like, yeah, I'm not going to really do that. And so I didn't go last year. And fast forward, we did a Bloom retreat. I knew some people that were going, so I felt a little bit more comfortable. It was an amazing experience. It just felt very natural. Everybody was just so welcoming. Did SFR out in Salt Lake City. It was absolutely amazing. Again, meeting people that I've really never met besides Zoom. And it was just an experience. I don't even know how to put it into words until you've just experienced it. It's like you've been best friends with these people forever and you've just met them, because nobody judges you. Nobody, they're accepting of all your flaws. They're understanding of where you've come, like where you've come from and where you're going. It's just amazing. And so when you invited me this year to Camp 1.0, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be there one way or another. I'm gonna make it. It's just, I'm gonna be there. And so again, I was flying where the majority of people were driving because they're from that basic area. And so I kind of reached out and said, is anybody else flying, or can anybody pick me up from the airport? Because I really didn't want to rent a car from the airport all the way to camp. And it was like instantly I had people reaching out to me, offering to come to the airport, 45 minutes out of their way to pick me up. And it was just a few group chats, and it was like we were already best friends. I don't know how to explain it in words, the sense of the words. I just can't, I really can't put it into words, the feeling of that connection, I guess, with people that you just don't even know, but you feel like automatically just this sense of wow, understanding, like you've just meant to be. And so we get to camp, and it's like I don't know any of these people besides like Zoom, and obviously a couple, like even Jackie. I mean, I know Jackie from Zoom. I mean, but the first time I saw her, it was like, hey, how's it going? Like, how are you? It's a feeling that you don't get with anybody else. And I spent 21 years in the military, and in the military, you have to be really close with your people because you are literally fighting for each other's lives. I mean, you literally have to have each other's backs. And I never got that same sense of like unity with them like I do with Scentsy. And these retreats, if you've never been, you have to. It's just a completely different sense of community. It just really is. There are other women that are lifting you up. There's other women cheering you on. There's other women that will be there for you to, offer advice or to help you with whatever needs that you might have. So, I mean, that's just my experience, I guess. But it really truly is hard to put into words, at least for me.
Thank you, Aim. Thanks for sharing. Jackie?
I knew she was going to call on me next. So I too was apprehensive about going. You guys can hear me, right? Okay, yeah. I've been to 2 Scentsy incentive trips. I've been to World Tour. That was like my, real first in Scentsy event besides the trips. We were a little apprehensive, Doyle and I, coming. I'm a homebody. I know that sounds crazy, but I like to be home. And then I started thinking, if I don't invest in myself and I don't put myself out there and meet other people who may or may not be like me, I had nothing to lose. I really didn't have a big expectation, but it's the same thing. Like you walk in and you've known these people from Zoom or just seeing them around. I had followed one of the SSDs, Christina Steinberg, on YouTube, and I had no idea that, you know, she was even a part of like my Scentsy journey. But my biggest takeaway was the community piece. Like I've already been in contact with 5 or 6 people from the weekend, and it's only Tuesday, just checking in on each other. One girl went out and did her YouTube channel, and she told me today, sent it to me by text, and I watched it and gave her feedback and said, you know, I'm so proud of you. And just to be able to genuinely feel that pride and joy for people in this business, because it's not competition. None of us are in competition with each other. And one thing that Shelly talked about, Shelly Sharp, is that being able to say no and being able to, you know, take care of yourself. So my biggest takeaway, and I shared with Melissa and the group, was to see myself the way others see me, because I have a really bad self-esteem. I pretty much hate myself on the daily, and just hearing it from other people was pretty amazing. Because you don't want to walk around like all prideful, but just hearing that, you know, somebody's like, oh my gosh, you know, one of my roommates found me on YouTube, and she's like, I can't believe you're in person. The one thing she said is I was taller than she thought, which was so funny, because, you know, you're always sitting down. But just that community, I think, it's just amazing. I've been on a high since Sunday, and then this week I've already reached out to like 4 people to join my team and have parties, and I passed out catalogs. Like I had catalogs in my purse to pass out. Chris Doyle had a really good way to send out samples, and I'm doing it because I believe in myself. I registered for SFR. Joe's going with me, and I'm not looking back. I'm totally moving forward.
I'm so super proud of you. So proud of you. Who wants to go next?
Doyle.
She loves to get you. Okay. There we go.
I'll go next.
Paula raised her hand too, just an
Okay.
FYI.
Oh,
Thank you,
okay.
Mary Jane.
All right. So yeah, obviously I had some apprehension about going and being around a bunch of people that I don't know. But that was my favorite part about the whole thing, is meeting all those people that I had never seen before. I was just blown away by the whole thing, honestly. And it's really hard to pinpoint one thing from it all. But just so many little nuggets that will stay with me for a long, long time. I know there's like all these little ideas that just even things that you didn't necessarily, that I just overheard from people, or listening to the directors talk to us. I loved it. Like, just, I don't know. It just gave me I can't, like, I have like a million things bouncing around in my head. I'm still kind of processing everything. Honestly, there was just so much that I feel like I gained from it. And I'm excited, you know, to put things into action, and I don't know.
Thank you, Chris. I was so glad that you came. Truly, I'm glad that I got to spend time with you.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I think that that's one of the things, like going off of what Chris said, there's some kind of contagious enthusiasm being around other consultants and overhearing or seeing what they're doing, or seeing that they're doing something kind of like what you do, but you're like, oh, how do you do this? Or what do you say to this? Or how would you do this? And there's something about being around other consultants and being able to share. I mean, we all speak the same language. when we're together, right? Because we, you know, it's not like when you talk to a friend that's not in Scentsy and you try to explain something and they're like trying to follow you, but you know, they don't know all the lingo and they don't know exactly what you're talking about. And then you get around consultants and they know the lingo and they know what you're talking about. And there's this excitement that we feed off of each other. And I think that's probably a common thing that you're going to see with everybody that's speaking is it's almost hard to explain that it's just this feeling of inclusion or this feeling of community or this feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm in this and I kind of thought I was in this alone, but look at all of these other people doing exactly what I'm doing and are willing to help me and share ideas and help me grow. And we're not even related. They're not in my upline, they're not in my downline, but people are still willing to help and to share. And I think that is one of the most beautiful things about our Scentsy culture is that it's not this cutthroat sales only. You have to perform, you have to be the top seller, you have to be the best, you know, at everything in order to belong. That isn't it at all. And so, you know, I think maybe that kind of is, you know, expounding on what Chris was saying and what Jackie said, and is that it's just this feeling of inclusion, this feeling of, oh my gosh, you can take 40 strangers and put them in a room together and make them sleep in rooms together in bunk beds and of all different ages and from all different backgrounds, and they come from all different places. And yet there's something beautiful about how we all come together.
Right. It's really hard to explain. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is the only other time that I had done anything in person was World Tour, which also was so much fun. So
Yeah.
much fun. And I'm
But
so
so
excited.
different.
I am so excited for SFR. I cannot wait. Yeah. I'm so excited.
Okay, me too. Thank you, Chris.
Okay.
Okay, Paula and then Baldwin.
Okay. I'm not going to repeat everything that everyone said because it's absolutely wonderful. Best experience ever. And I thought World Tour was that. I can't wait till SFR. My favorite part was learning how to make that connection. Like Melissa, when you ask us how much money a month would change your life, that put it into perspective what I need to do. So I mean, there's not enough things to say how wonderful it was. It was incredible. Thank you all for putting it on and all your hard work.
Well, thank you for attending, Paula. I'm glad that you did.
It was awesome.
Good. Thank you. Baldwin.
Okay, so there is magic in camp, like legitimate magic. Typically if someone, you know, in my day-to-day is like, oh, how are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm good, I'm tired, you know, and that's always my response, because like I always am just that little bit of like, oh, I'm tired. But going at camp, you don't have to, but I stayed up until almost like 2 a.m. And then we were doing stuff all day, but you weren't like, it was like you blinked, you looked up and you're like, what do you mean it's noon? What do you mean it's 4 o'clock? Like, we just got here. And so like you were doing things and you were active, and you know, we had a full day, like it was a full day. And at the end of it, I was sitting there like the day after, on the drive home and stuff, I kept yawning. And like I made a stop off on my way home, and I was like, they were laughing because could barely keep my eyes open, but I wasn't tired. Like I was like, physically my body is like, bro, you need sleep. But the rest of me was so excited and so pumped up and so energized. And it's lasted, like it's been within 12 hours of leaving camp, just amazing things start happening. Like people commented on like, I had people saying like, wow, you're smiling so much more, and what's going on? And I had like 2 orders come in out of the blue, and 2 people who were like, oh yeah, hey, I saw you were gone for the weekend. That looks cool. I wanna, you know, whatever. It literally opens like it's magic. And it's amazing to see like all of the insecurities that you have you show up and it's like, oh, you guys have those too, and you're so successful. Okay, cool. Like, I feel less alone. I feel less like, well, I can't do it or I can't be that great because of this, that, or the other. And everybody just pumps each other up so much. There's like, oh yeah, I need to work on follow up, and I had like 5 people who were like, oh hey, let me tell you my system, and bam, you're good. Or like people came and were like, hey, I really like how you do this, and I'm over here like, wait, you mean me? But like, I'm new, I just started, I don't do things. And they're like, oh yeah, I loved how you do this or that. And it's super, it's just really amazing. Everybody is so kind and they pump each other up so much. And the directors, like, the message that you get isn't, oh, here's how to do your business and like sell this and do that. And here's, whatever. It's take care of yourself, make time for yourself, like, be healthy. And that's not a message that, at least it's not a message I'm told often. So it clicks some things. And my therapist was like, when I told him about it, was like, man, you need to go to them instead, because they've made more progress in a weekend than I have in like 3 months. So
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
that's
so
camp.
glad. I'm so glad that you went. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're so welcome. Ginger.
What was crazy to me was how many people that were coming in and extremely nervous. I wasn't nervous, I think, just because we had done the Bloom retreat and I felt, I just felt a little bit, I felt comfortable coming into it. But those people that were the most nervous, like they didn't want to talk, they didn't want any eyes on them at all. They blossomed so much at the end that you would have never even, you would have thought we were all friends forever. I liked how our bunkmates, like, we didn't know them. They were from different, different SSDs. They were on, just different. They were from whole different places. And before we met each other, we had started chat rooms or whatever with each other so we could come up with ideas for our doors and this and that. And there was a couple, I'm not going to lie, there was a couple girls that I thought, I don't know if I really want to bunk with them. We weren't really seeing eye to eye on the door. And it was supposed to be something that was fun, to do together. But I think that texting and messaging and things like that are so not personable. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to take people. You don't know how to take them. But as soon as we met, I'm not kidding you, I slept 4 hours in 2 days because we were up laughing and just carrying on all night long. And the first night we stayed up playing cards and, and eating popcorn and just hanging out. And I mean, I will tell you, I needed that in my life right now. I really did. So many people have so many things going on in their lives that, may not be good. And for one full day, so like almost 2 days, I felt like I left everything back here in Michigan, and it just cleared my mind so much. The meditation, that, I have to say, I think that was my favorite part of the whole thing, because I seriously was just so relaxed that when it was over with, I was ready to rock, man. I'm not kidding you. I was messaging people. I'm like, I don't care if I got 22 parties, give me 22 more. And, recruiting, that's my main focus right now. That is my main focus. Like, I want to grow, and I want, that's my main focus right now. But it made me leave there feeling so confident and so good and so cleansed. Like, my mind felt so cleansed. I haven't felt like that in a very, very long time. So thank you.
And it's,
Thank you.
oh my gosh, thank you. And it's crazy, right? Because we don't even spend I don't think we're together even 48 hours. I think it's shorter than 48 hours, but what a difference, especially when people come and they just need it for whatever the reason is. Whatever the reason is, people just need it. You need that time away where you're not responsible for your kids or your spouse or your partner or your parents or your dog. Like you're just not responsible, and you get to just be you.
Yeah.
And worry about you and take care of you.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the really cool things. So I'm going to break up our 1.0ers and our 2.0ers by doing this little commercial and saying, if this is something you want to absolutely make sure you can try to attend next year, please send me a message so that I can put you in my camp file for next year, so that I make sure you get the personal invitation to attend. Because if it would be my dream to have every one of you that shows up on this Zoom attend camp. It is, as you just heard from first timers that had no idea what to expect and no idea what they were in for, hearing them say their experience and me wanting that experience for you. If it is something that you want to make sure that you get an invitation to next year when we hold it again, please send me a message. Okay. And I'm really excited too, because, part of why I love doing this business, one of the million reasons I love doing this business, one of the million things that I love about this business is that retreats are my jam. Like they are what I love doing. I love connecting with people outside of a Zoom screen, and I love getting to meet people in person and getting to build relationships with you outside of our normal interactions. And so the camp retreat has come to a close. I have another retreat coming up in about 2 months, and there are 4 of you on here that will be attending that retreat, and I'm really, really excited about that experience, and I cannot wait. And so then we will go into SFR, and I know that I'll see many of you there. And so it makes me really, really excited, because I am just as proud of your successes as I am my own. In fact, I'm probably more proud of you than even when I do something and I'm like, hey, I'm pretty proud of myself. But I get so excited to see you celebrate your successes and experience successes in your business and realize that your business has potential. And that fuels me. So me coming off of camp and feeling like you guys went away, feeling like your cup is more full than when you arrived, in whatever way, shape, form, or capacity, that makes me so happy, so happy. And so make sure that if you want to attend, that you send me a message. Okay. All right. 2.0, you have a little bit more experience, right? You've attended 1.0 and then you loved it so much you came back. And then you spent 3 days. So 2.0, we spend 3 days together. That's something new this year. They asked for it and asked for it and asked for it. And so it used to be 2 days, just like 1.0, but camp is now 3 days. So they arrive on Monday afternoon, and we have all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday, which is partially scheduled breakout time where we train and we learn, and then partial work time where people can sit at tables and collaborate and work on things they need to work on in their business. And so it's a lot more laid back than 1.0, but we have a little bit more time together. So my 2.0ers have a little bit more experience with camp, because now they've either been 2, 3, or 4 times. And so I want you guys to have an opportunity to just talk about your experience having attended multiple times. Debbie.
Okay, so I've gone all 4 times, and the first time I was nervous too. I actually cried on the way there because I always road trip with my kids. So when I saw like Love's gas station, where I always see on the way on road trips, I like got sad. But then I walk in and you see all these people that are legitimately happy to see you, even though they never met you before. It's the same thing everyone else is saying, but I want to reiterate that, you know, like, and I come late on Monday night because I can't take Monday off of work. In the past couple years, I walk in and people clap when I walk in, and it's like they're excited. And to be able to connect with people that aren't on your team that you've never met in person before, and then to look forward to seeing them every year is super special. And we do learn a lot of training, but honestly, I go for the connections more than the training. My pastor said at church last month that passion destroys a resume any day. And it's kind of the same thing with this, because just like everyone else is saying, all the energy you get from this, you know, I'm still on my high, and it's been, almost a week, can outweigh any training you'll ever have. My bunkmates and I still keep in touch every day. So the last day when I was just about to leave, one of them walked in and she just started sobbing, and she's like, I can't do this. I never get a break at home, blah, blah, blah. And I started crying because I'm like, I can relate to everything she said. I'm like, I'm going to help you because my kids are older. I've been there, and this is what we're going to do. And the 4 of us have been keeping in touch and helping each other. And it's just like you say, we're not in a competition with each other. We legit want everyone to be successful. And it's just amazing. I'm trying to think if there's anything different, but I mean, everything everyone said times like 1,000. It's just, I love it so much. So thank you.
Thanks, Debbie.
And I don't know about this retreat you're talking about in May, but you're gonna have to send me a message later.
Everybody gets their time to shine. Everybody gets their time to shine.
Darn. Okay.
Mary Jane, Jody, Nicole, you've had experience at camp too. I'll use you for SFR. Hold that thought. I'll use you for SFR. Okay, Jody, Mary Jane, Wendy.
I can go.
Go.
I have to say that I've been to 1.0 and now I just was at 2.0. And I have to compare it to 1.0 is like you're a freshman in high school, and 2.0 is like you're a senior. You've graduated already. So it was like walking in and seeing old friends. And it's about the camaraderie, the belonging to, the sense of community. And I truly felt like I was seeing old friends again, and some people that I had just met last year and people that I had connected with this year, that I walked away from there feeling like your story isn't the only story. Everybody's got a story. For the most part, they're going through the same stuff you are. And, you want this business and you want to help each other. And I think that there were so many ways that we sat down, even in breakoffs and then out of breakoffs in the work time, that we were just helping each other. Everybody was so eager to give you some time to show you new things. And that was what was great about it. And stuff that didn't take a lot of time, but people were willing to sit down and give you 15 minutes, I just think that there's a lot of things we already knew that were reiterated, the importance of home parties, tracking your numbers. One of my big aha moments was treat your team like they're your VIP customers until they prove you otherwise. Because there's a lot of people that sign up for the $25. They're either kidnappers or they're not sure they want a business. They just want the discount. And I think that with recruiting, I was at a loss because I felt like, well, they wanted this business. Why aren't they involved? They knew more when they were my VIPs than they do now. And so since I've been home and even there, I started to give more information, treat them just like they're my customers still, because I have, and the 20% thing, 20% of your teammates are going to be, or your downline are going to be active. So eventually I'd like to, reach higher levels, director particularly is a goal of mine right now. And how to coach those people to help you get there. looking at your numbers, tracking your numbers, seeing who's lacking, where you can help people, where people might be dropping off and don't know it. Some people might not realize that they are a little bit away from a goal that they didn't know. And then there's those people that just want the discount and just want to get stuff, and that's okay. Not that everybody is in it for the business. So the importance of the numbers below you, if you want to achieve different levels with Scentsy. There were so many things. There's just so many things. No is a complete sentence. No is a complete sentence. You're allowed to say no to people. You're allowed to delegate to people. You're allowed to pay people to do things that you could do, but you don't need to take the time to do. Open and close, open to close. Huge, just huge. So many things. And then, what was the other thing? Oh, titles were left at the door when we walked in.
Yep.
Everybody was the same. You didn't know who was a director, who was a lead, who was a whatever. You didn't know. And everybody was the same, and everybody treated everybody the same. My kids said today, I can't believe you go and you drive with people, or you room with people you don't even know. And I said, it's so much more than selling a bar of wax. So I think there's just an endless amount of things that I could probably go on forever.
Oh, I love it. Wendy, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank
Okay,
you.
I follow that one. Good job, Wendy. Well, first of all, this is my third camp. I don't have a problem walking into a room to meet anybody. I don't have to know anybody, because I'm going to get my cup of coffee, my notebook and my pen, and say, so where are you from? What's going on? How's your business? What do you love about it? I just ramble. So this was my place. I like that. My first trip I earned was Scentsy. It was only like 4 months in, and it was a great thing. But anyways, I went on a cruise and I was with a complete stranger. To this day, 9.5 years later, we still talk. She's in Canada. We still talk. Okay. A great thing too, you check in. You don't have to put a stitch of makeup on. Go braless if you want. And everybody was in pajamas and slippers. Everybody. Sweats, pajamas, slippers, bras, no bras, didn't matter. Nobody's judging, nobody's looking. There was a few dance classes one night. Let's see, we all didn't participate in that. Probably just because we ran out of time. I might have, no, I'm kidding. Anyways, so what I took from that is I love the interaction. I love all that. I'm a morning person, and I go to bed early. First night I stayed up till 12, which was late for me because I'm in bed by 11:30, but I'm also up at 4:30. Second night, 2 o'clock in the morning. Third night, 2 o'clock in the morning. I got home, I went to bed at 7:30, slept till the next day. And so what I took away from the business or the camp was the business part. I have my own hair salon for 18 years, been doing hair for 35. I like what goes on behind the back scene. I want to know how to run the business. I want to know what makes that business. I want a hairdresser. Why is this shampoo better than this? I want to know why your follow-up works better than mine, or vice versa. You can always learn from a brand new person. I can learn from a girl coming out of beauty school that cuts the bangs crooked. I still can learn from her. We learn all week, all weekend, from everybody, from beginners. I didn't even know what their titles, didn't matter. But you share your stories, you're wide open, you're an open book. You know, you try to find somebody to be accountability partner that you don't know and say, we're going to do this. And let's see, what else? The business end is what I took out of the whole thing. I sat down and I know how to read my business reports now. When I was doing it the very, 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 very long version. Like what would take me 20 minutes, well, half an hour once I really get the hang of it, was taking me a full day to do what I was doing. Pulling up reports on every single person and analyzing where they're going, when's their last order, what are they doing, how can I help them, sending, it's like, oh my God, click, 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 click. And I was there. And like Wendy said, the open to close. It is a great thing to have hours. It's perfect to have hours. I usually start before my open and I close after my close, but that's my choice.
Mhm.
So you just pick up so much from all of these leaders and brand new people. Every consultant has something to share that you're going to get something out of it. I don't care who you talk to, you're going to pick up something. I don't care if it's the way they lick the stamp that goes on the return address, whatever, you're going to learn something.
Yep.
And that's it. I won't take any more time because everything else has pretty much been said. It's
Well,
been
thank you,
great.
Mary Jane. And the close to open that keeps being referred to is something that my sister Shelley has been talking about for years and years and years. She's another SSD. And she believes, and this goes back to her retail days working in retail stores, where she would close the store for the night and she would open the next morning. And so that's how she treats her kitchen and her house, is that when she goes to bed at night, she closes so that when she wakes up in the morning, it is ready to go for the next person that comes in, or in our case, ourselves. And we're not starting the day behind, but we are finishing the day off right and closing it down so that when we open in the morning, we are ready to tackle the day. So that is what the close to open is. And everybody at camp gets a schooling on close to open. And so that's why you've heard it mentioned a couple times. Jody, you're going to take us home. And then I want to put my plug in about SFR really quickly, and then we will let you guys all go. So Jody, go ahead.
Well, obviously ditto what everyone said. I can tell you, like what Amy said, I've been to camp 3 times. So the first time I was invited, I declined. And I declined, even though I've been in this business over 12 years. And back then, obviously 8 years or so, I declined because of the nerves, anxiety. I'm not good around others. I don't think people like me. There's a lot of that. I've just been around that my whole life, felt that way my whole life. I was bullied as a kid, as a teenager. So, you know, it's just stuck with me as an adult. But the first time, yeah, it was rough because I was nervous, anxiety. But by this third time, I went because I needed to go to camp, be in my pajamas. I hung in my slippers the whole time to get away from my kids. I love my kids, my adult children, but they need me every single day. And I needed to, my parents, whoever, I needed to focus on me, you know, just me. And that's what I got to do at camp. And that's what I took away, like the open and close. I've been doing that. I didn't do that last year and I knew about it. Saying no. Yep. My daughter needed me to watch my grandson last minute yesterday. Nope, I didn't. I said, I can't, I got too much to do today. My day's already been planned out. So, and I would have never said no before. Never. So I've been putting all those things in place that I've learned that put me first, set hours, you know, stay off Facebook. I'm a scroller and I'm like, nope, I gotta get things done. I need to spend this much time on Facebook. And that was like during my little breaks, I had way too much to do. So you take so many things away from different people. I don't know. Everything everyone said is a ditto.
Yeah.
I have to go to camp. Like every year I have to go to camp. It's something that I need for me, you know.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I did forget about Tina, so I want to give her a chance to talk. Tina, it's because I didn't see your face on the screen. But one thing I want to say in regards to what Jody said and what so many others have said is that the things that you think about yourself and the things that you tell yourself are not what other people see. And so to hear to hear somebody like Jody, and I've known Jody, obviously, her entire Scentsy career, but to hear somebody like Jody say that, I don't feel like somebody likes me, or to, I was anxious or nervous. And to me, Jody is a strong, badass. Like, she is like badass. Jody has always rocked her business. I mean, she can rock a buddy drive like it's going out of style. Like, I have so much respect for her as a human being, as a business owner, as who she is, as a friend. And it's so crazy because I've schooled Jackie on this a bunch of times too, is that the things that we tend to tell ourselves are not the things that others around us see. And they're not, I mean, I crave being around a lot of the people that end up saying, oh my gosh, I'm too nervous to be around people and I'm anxious, and yet they have the best personalities, and we are all missing out by them stopping themselves from their fullest potential for the fear of what others think. And I just absolutely love to have seen how Jody has blossomed. I know Jack is in the process of blossoming, and telling herself the right things, not the wrong things. And I love to see the growth that is centered around being able to connect with people like this. And so
I will say the scavenger hunt is my most favorite part of the entire
I know it's mine because I
Yeah,
get to
you
see
know.
you laugh so hard.
You have to bring extra panties, but please do not leave the panties behind.
Jody did that.
Because I admit it, but you laugh so much that you
Yep.
might have to change your panties.
Last year, just 1.0 got to camp and they said, there's panties in the bunk I just went into. And it was from somebody at 2.0, and it was Jody. Jody left him at camp.
They
All
fell
right.
out of my bag. Oops.
Tina.
Sorry, I don't have my camera on. I'm laying in bed. But I loved it. I loved everything about it. Just seeing people that I knew from last year, meeting new people this year and getting to know them, and the fun we had with the games and being able to work at what you just trained about. And for the first time ever, I actually wrote a plan out, and I've been doing it, and that has never happened to me before. And it's just so much fun. I love getting away and just being with other people, like everyone said, like-minded. All of our titles, like everyone said, was at the door. You just subconsciously did it. And it didn't matter what level you were being paid at or not paid at. It was all about just the camaraderie, just being with other people that are just like you.
Yeah. Thank you, Tina. I'm really proud of you too.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks for letting us come and doing all of this for us.
Yeah. Well, thank you. We wouldn't have a camp to put on if nobody came. So, okay. SFR, here's what I want to tell you on the heels of us just talking about camp. Obviously, registration opened yesterday. It goes until April 30th. There is a payment plan. There is coordination. If you're like, it is going to be a heck of a lot cheaper if I share a room with 4 people instead of trying to get a hotel by myself. So we will have coordination of pairing people up and carpooling. And at one point I had posted on Together We Scent about what would happen, how many of you would be interested if I chartered a bus to get to North Carolina, but then I priced it out and it priced us way out of our league. But if nothing else, it gave me an idea of who is thinking of attending SFR. And I would love to be able to connect you with other people attending SFR so that you are able to go. I already said there's a payment plan. I wanted to tell you this about SFR. If you are attending and you're having some of the feelings of nervousness like these guys shared attending camp, I want you to know that we do things together at SFR. We sit together, we have a team day where we have t-shirts that match each other. We do an awards and recognition dinner just for our group at SFR. And we make sure to pair people up so that nobody is alone. Nobody is experiencing SFR alone. And so I want you to know that attending SFR, even if you go by yourself, you are not by yourself. And I think that's a really big thing to know. And that's some of the reservations people have with attending, because SFR is big and it is not like World Tour. It is grandiose and the production is amazing. And I will never forget walking into my very first SFR in 2009. And that is ingrained in my brain because it was my first time walking into the room and seeing the stage set up and seeing Scentsy everywhere. And it left the most lasting impression on me. And it is just a feeling of importance. It is a feeling of excitement and spirit. And it's another in-person event where you get to connect with people and build community, but it's so different than, an event or retreat that you attend where you're sharing bunks with people that you don't know. Every event is special and different in its own way. And so I want you, if you are considering going to SFR, you need help figuring out getting there, or you need help figuring out who you could stay with or where you could stay, come to me so that I want to connect people together to make sure that everybody has, especially those that have not attended before. Because if you've attended before, you typically know the drill and you find your people that you're like, okay, let's bunk up together, let's drive together, let's whatever. But those of you that haven't attended, I want to make sure that you are taken care of, connected, and not feeling like you are attending alone. KJ says, I'm not a person who cries, but I had tears rolling down during the first session, still have zero idea why. Not something I can put into words. And it's just this feeling. It's this feeling. And Nicole, do you want to plug anything about SFR at all? I just wanted to give you an opportunity to. And Rand as well.
Something I can. I've been a consultant for a long time, not as long as some of you, but 12 years is a long time. It took me to year 5 to actually go to the first reunion in Nashville. And that was because I was going to get to do my 5-year walk. And I regretted not having gone before that. And so, I didn't go last year because my daughter had a dance recital and I couldn't miss that. It happens once a year. I don't ever miss them since then because there's something about it. Somebody, Baldwin, mentioned camp being magic. And I think SFR is kind of like magic for a lot of people. I think, they say those that show up, go up, and leaders are born at events. And I just really feel like it's so true. I think it's so important for us to kind of all come from all over the country and countries at times, depending on if it's, across the regions or not, and just connect with everyone and all be in the same place at the same time and not behind a screen, and just literally feel the vibration of the bass of the music and the confetti and all the things, and see the reveals and feel the excitement and see people have their moments of either aha moments or moments of excitement or whatever it is, and just cheer people on for their awards that they've earned and walking the stage and seeing who's our shining star, just all the things, where our next incentive is going to be, and the next reunion, and just all of it. Like every piece of it just has something new to bring to the table. And Scentsy never skips on the entertainment and the speakers that they bring to the table and the consultants that they ask to pour into us. And it honestly is just, it's a feeling you really can't until you've been there and experienced it. Like I could tell you till I'm blue in the face, like just do it. You have to just do it to know what I'm talking about. But you just have to do it. You just have to trust me. Just trust me. Trust Nicole. It's worth it.
And now's the time too. I mean, it is an investment. It is an investment, but you still have time to use your business as a tool and vehicle to make the money you need to attend SFR. So keep that in mind. Rand, talk to us about SFR and then draw a name for our prize tonight.
Absolutely. So, I mean, I've gone 15 of the 16 years that I've been a consultant, and I mean, well, this will be my 16th year. I will not miss it. It is, when they say magical, it is a different kind of magic, and it is a different kind of excitement that you feel being around that many people who have the same excitement and the same feeling of just, it's just something that you cannot put into words until you experience it yourself. So you truly have to go to understand what we're all talking about, because it is just, it's an experience that you don't ever want to miss. And it's truly just, it's great to be able to connect with not just your team members, but everyone that is there. I mean, you find new friends and new people that you had no idea that, I mean, somebody who's sitting next to you, you'll all of a sudden you just connect with them on levels that you're like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, let me get your card. And here, I mean, it's just, it's incredible. And it's just one where, like I say, you have to experience it to be able to know exactly what we're kind of trying to explain to you, because it is really truly hard to put into words. So if you can, do everything you can to get there, because it's incredible. It truly is. So okay, I'm gonna pick a name for our party tonight.
Guys, thanks for staying on with us tonight too.
Christina Hill.
Yay! That's awesome. Hey, Rand, will you draw one more?
Sure.
I'm gonna send out two.
Okay. Wendy Schleich.
Yay! All right, so Wendy and Chris Hill. Perfect. You guys, thanks for sticking with us tonight. Thank you to everybody that shared. I appreciate you so much. And let's have an amazing week. Okay. Bye, guys.
Happy late birthday, Rand. Oh, cutest Scentsy grandma around.
Oh.